Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Lolovics and I work on the Google Students page, and I'm here today talking to some folks about the Google Computer Science Summer Institute. So I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves, starting with Jack, who's sitting right next to me.
Hi, I'm Jack DeSico. I work on the Engineering University Programs team here at Google. My role is I'm responsible for computer science student outreach in the U.S., mainly to schools on the East Coast, including historically black colleges and universities, and I am one of the program managers for Computer Science Summer Institute. How about Liz?
My name is Liz Arnold. I actually also am a university program specialist working out of the Cambridge office, so I focus on a lot of the schools in the New England area, working with computer science student outreach, and also am another program manager for the Computer Science Summer Institute.
Hi, I'm Radha Narayan. I am a software engineer on Google Search, and I work on CSSI in designing curriculum that's exciting and relevant for students. So I look forward to seeing you guys.
Great. We had a little bit of a technical issue there. I'm not sure what happened, but we're back on now. So I just wanted to start off by asking, a little bit about what is CSSI. So Jack, maybe you can talk a little bit about what the program is.
Yeah, sure. So we call it CSSI for short. It stands for Computer Science Summer Institute. And CSSI is a summer program. It's a 3-week program for students who are currently high school seniors who plan to enroll in a computer science program in the U.S. or Canada come fall of their freshman year. So that would be fall of 2012. So in a sense, the program is intended to enrich the computer science skills of students who participate. So throughout your 3 weeks at Google, you will actually take various introductory classes to computer science. You'll get mentorship from Google engineers. You'll meet other interns at Google who are software engineer interns. And you'll get a lot of development too. So you'll really understand what it means to be an engineer at Google, but at the same time be meeting students from other universities and also have a lot of fun and just get to live the Google life for 3 weeks.
Great. So a lot of the questions that we got over from Google Plus over the last couple days, and thank you all for submitting questions, were about the application process. So I figured we could start there. And maybe, Liz, you can talk a little bit about the application process in general. Like, what happens after the deadline? What can students expect as far as next steps, or when to hear back whether or not they're still considered, etc.?
Sure. So as many of you know, or hopefully you know, this Friday is our application deadline. So Friday, April 20th, 11:59 p.m. And at that point, the following week, we'll start reviewing the applications. And it's our hope that towards the end of next week, or a little bit after that, we will start reaching out to students for interviews. And the interview is not a coding interview. It's not anything scary. What we hope to find out is more about your interest in computer science, kind of telling us about your passion, as well as your, kind of technical skills, like what is it that you've already been doing and why are you interested in computer science. And once we go through the interview process, then hopefully in mid-May we'll be moving to the next stage to select students to participate in CSSI this summer.
Great. Radha, one of the questions that we got from Logan Lawrence on Google Plus is Logan would like to know what kind of experience we're looking for. Would lots of experience with computer science be preferred over someone with good basic computer skills but an interest in computer science?
Hi, Logan. So this answer is for you and for anyone else who's applying. And no, someone with experience will not be preferred over someone who has basic skills but is really interested. What we are trying to do is find people who have the passion for computer science and technology but haven't necessarily found the experience or the program that caters to their interests. And we want to make sure that we give you guys the relevant skills that you will need both in your university career and whatever you do afterwards. So it is very likely that the class that we see this summer will be much like the class that we saw last summer, where there's a wide range of skills and a wide range of experience, and we make the class interesting and accessible to people regardless of their level.
Great. So Jack, maybe you can take this next question from Steve Buccimi, who hopefully I did not butcher his name. But Steve would like to know about the competitiveness of the program. How many students apply and how many slots are available?
Sure, good question. So last year we had about 400 applicants to CSSI for about 60 participants total. So we envision the competitiveness to be really similar this year. We will have about 60 students over 2 sessions. So 30 students in session 1, which takes place June 24th through July 12th here in Mountain View, California. And then 30 students in our second session, which takes place July 22nd to August 10th in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So it's really competitive, but at the same time, we definitely encourage you to apply if you fit all the criteria. And even if you don't be upset. There are many other ways in which we can keep in touch as you enter into your freshman year of college and enroll in CS, because we have lots of opportunities for students regardless of year. So there are other internships and programs that Google does, but certainly apply by the end of this week if you are interested.
And then since you did talk about the sessions, this question is also from Steve. He wants to know that if he's accepted, is there a way to select which session he will attend?
Yes, definitely. Our goal would be for students who are accepted into CSSI that we do give you the option of which session you'd like to attend, but of course that will be based upon availability of seats in each session too. So we would ask that you sort of be open-minded, but if you do have vacation plans or other things on the calendar already, we'll try to be as flexible as possible.
Liz, hoping that you can help us answer this question from Patricia. She wants to know, she quoted from the website that it says students need to intend to enroll or be accepted for enrollment at a university with computer science, computer engineering, software engineering, or related department for the 2012 to 2013 academic year. And Patricia would like to know, does this mean that she needs to be entering one of the above departments or just entering a university that has one of those departments?
So the goal is that you're, yes, entering a university that has one of those departments, but that it is also your stated interest to major in one of those areas when you reach that university. We do recognize that many universities don't allow you to state your major until you're a sophomore, so, but we want to, the hope is that your intent is to major in a computer science field or related area.
So we got a number of questions about the essay questions, specifically about what some of them mean. So I'm hoping that we can answer some of those questions for folks. Starting with Kevin Cow would like to know, for the essay question that is quoted as, Google is committed to encouraging underrepresented students to seek degrees in computer science. Which specific action would you take to increase diversity in the field of technology? Kevin would like to know, for this essay question, I'm unsure of whether the question is asking how I as a person would be contributing to the diversity, or if the question is asking what actions I would carry out to promote more underrepresented students to delve into computer science. Maybe Jack, you can answer that.
Yeah, sure. So sorry, our question was a little vague there. I think there is room for interpretation. So if you read the question one way and you really want to answer it one way, please do that. I think when we wrote the question, we were hoping to get a better sense of what you as a student might do to encourage diversity within your field. So would you start, let's say, a club for women in computer science the last few months of your high school experience? Or how might you inspire others to get more exposure to computer science or technology? Or what might you participate in college once you get there to promote the study of computer science to underrepresented groups? So in a sense, just kind of be inspired to take the question in the direction that you're most interested in, most passionate about.
And then Nicholas Suarez has a follow-up question about the same essay question. He would like to know if the question is asking what action he would take as an individual or what action he would take if he was the executive team at Google.
Oh, wow. I mean, it would be pretty cool to know what you would want to do if you were on the executive team at Google. So I guess, again, we could be open with that question. There's no right or wrong answer to any of the questions that we've given you. So certainly some creativity, and again, where you are inspired to take this open-ended question is recommended. I don't think it was intended for you to tell us what we might do here at Google, but sort of what you on your own might do as you explore computer science a little bit further.
And then the last question about the essays, I'll direct this one towards Liz. Logan Lawrence, again, would like to know how much he'll be marked down if he goes over the 300-word limit on the essays. He really has a lot to say about the third essay question and feels it would be very difficult to fit within the 300 words. Do you care if my essay is over 600 words if it is well written or very relevant, informative, and important, or should I be wary of going over that 300-word limit?
Well, while I would love to say, write as long as you can, as we mentioned earlier, we do have a lot of applications we're looking through, and we want to make sure that we give everyone, as much time as we can. So obviously, if 350 is, it completes that thought and completes your essay, then that's okay. But I think trying to keep to the word limit will really help us to make sure that we, process and read every application as fast as we can to kind of move to the interview process.
So Radha, let's switch gears a little bit to talking about the program itself. Once a student is selected to attend the program, do they need to do any preparatory work before coming to Google?
No, they don't. It would be cool if they were doing work on their own just because, I love knowing what people are doing in their high schools and in their communities in the field of technology and what inspires them. There is no pre-studying or something like that. And so we definitely don't, I think basically you're free to do whatever you want, and I look forward to hearing about it, but there is no pre-studying required.
And another question for you, what can students expect from the technical curriculum? What will they be doing during their 3 weeks at Google?
Well, that's a very good question, and basically it goes into what I would like to achieve with the curriculum, which is always changing. And we tried a few things last year, and we made the curriculum web architecture based so that it was suited for the world of the internet and what it means to be a web developer. So we found some successes and a few things we could work on, and we are changing the curriculum to make it both more relevant and more exciting. And the field of technology changes very, very fast. By the time we teach you or learn how to teach you specific technology, it's already old and outdated. And so basically, we'll have to see. We have some ideas, and we'll be working on them and perfecting them. And we look forward to also knowing your input, what worked, what didn't. And I hope that once you're done with CSSI, you'll go back to college and come back to us with feedback and let us know what worked and what didn't and what interested you.
Great. So this is a question that we often get either from students or from their parents. Liz, can you tell us what the living arrangements are for students while they're at CSSI?
Sure. For both sessions, we actually will be staying at local universities that are near to the Google office. And at this time, we're working on whether you may end up having your own room or you may have a roommate of the same gender. And it will be supervised. So one of us will be staying on campus and serving kind of like as an RA, similar to many colleges, to make sure that everything goes well, but we also have many activities that we've planned for the time that you're not in the courses at Google.
And Radha, since you were involved last year, maybe you can talk a little bit about what the typical day looks like for a CSSI participant.
The typical day, well, usually it involves, well, we don't really do lectures in the lecture sense. You'll notice that that's one of the things that we are trying to change, because we've found that the lecture format doesn't necessarily work well or hold people's interest. So we do a lot of hands-on work. You'll be sitting in a classroom but with a computer at your desk, and you'll be writing code and talking about it in groups and with your teachers, and your teachers are software engineers at Google. So you will essentially be living the life of a Google engineer. You'll be writing code, talking to people about code, asking people for help if you run into a problem. And that's what you'll do, usually until lunch. And then after lunch, the CSSI team will have some fantastic activities planned for you. Those are either educational, fun, or both. And then we continue with more stuff. And we try to keep the material engaging, so it is a long work day. And you will be studying well until dinner time. So, and then after dinner, people go back to their dorm and usually end up socializing. But as the program progresses and the groups start to realize how interested they are, they tend to go back and work more. And that's very interesting for us, and it also encourages us to know that you guys find the curriculum so engaging.
And you brought this up a little bit, so I was hoping to follow up. Can you talk a little bit more about the group work dynamic and how students will be working together during the program?
Yes, you will have to work in groups. I think there is a misconception that the engineer's life is a solitary one. And you are not going to be stuck behind a desk inside a cubicle with nobody talking to you. That's just not how engineers at Google work. In fact, if you know anything about how the Google campus is structured, there are no real single-person offices. We all socialize in large cubes and talk to each other pretty loudly. Sometimes we throw little foam darts at each other if we want someone's attention. And so it is a very social work life, and it's important that it's that way, because the best projects tend to be basically done by people in groups. Sorry, there was a technical difficulty and the lights went out. That was exciting. But yeah, so we basically encourage people to work in groups.
Great. So Jack, maybe you can talk a little bit about one of the aspects of the program that is talked about on the website, which is the mentorship piece. Can you tell us a little bit about the mentors that the students will receive while they're at Google?
Yeah, sure. So every student that participates in the program will benefit from a mentor. And your mentor will actually be a Google software engineer. So you'll be able to really understand what it is that they do at Google, and maybe what they studied in their undergrad or master's or even PhD program, courses that were maybe integral to their success, what they did in their internships. So basically free reign. You can ask them anything that you would like to know that helped them get to Google, but then also certainly they want to share their experiences in computer science with you, and maybe what got them excited about computer science, what made them passionate about computer science, who their idols in the tech space were, things like that. So the hope is that you have an ongoing relationship with your mentor while at CSSI, but then even beyond CSSI. So we want you to have a meaningful relationship with this person that really sort of carries you through your undergrad and potentially even beyond your undergrad degree.
Great. So we've covered the application process, and we've talked a bit about what students can expect while they're at Google. So for our last question, I wanted to talk about what happens after CSSI. So Liz, maybe you can help us with this. CSSI is now in its 5th year. Can you talk a little bit more about some of the alumni of our program and what's happened after CSSI?
Sure. So one of the things we try to do is to continue to keep that relationship with students who are in CSSI and invite them to consider other internship programs as they move through. We have a freshman engineering practicum program, an engineering practicum for sophomores. And so we actually have Googlers who are here now who have started in CSSI, a few years ago, have continued to do internships and kind of progressed through, and now they are full-time software engineers here. And we think that's a really great testament to the way that this program was able to help build their skills and kind of help support them throughout their development.
Great. All right, so that exhausted all the questions that we had. So I just wanted to remind everybody that the application deadline for CSSI is this Friday, April 20th at midnight. So if you are considering applying, we hope that you do. If you've started your application but haven't yet completed it yet, we hope that you do all before Friday. And we look forward to seeing your applications and maybe seeing you at Google this summer. I want to thank Jack, Liz, and Radha for joining us for this chat, and hope you guys got all your questions answered. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks.